to start with that major breaking news from yesterday, the guilty verdict of former cryptocurrency billionaire Sam Bankman-Fried. Did you see this? Well, a jury in New York took only a few hours to convict him on all 7 charges of fraud and conspiracy related to the failure of his crypto exchange, FTX. His efforts to explain himself under oath apparently did not convince that jury. Errol Barnett was in the courtroom yesterday when the verdict was announced. Errol, cover of Fortune, cover of Forbes, and now this. Good morning.
That's exactly right. Good morning to you all. The former crypto king was stone-faced as this verdict was read, and it was about exactly a year ago that FTX collapsed into bankruptcy and Sam Bankman-Fried had to resign as its CEO. Now he is convicted of defrauding customers and investors out of billions of dollars and very well could spend the rest of his life behind bars.
I didn't ever try to commit fraud on anyone.
Sam Bankman-Fried, the former CEO of the crypto trading company FTX, has long professed his innocence about allegations that fraud led to his company's collapse last year.
I substantially underestimated what the scale of a market crash could look like.
But it took a Manhattan jury less than 4 hours to decide otherwise, convicting the 31-year-old of stealing as much as $10 billion in customer funds and defrauding those customers, as well as the lenders of FTX's affiliated hedge fund, Alameda Research. Prosecutors are calling this, quote, one of the biggest financial frauds in American history.
The cryptocurrency industry might be new, but this kind of fraud, this kind of corruption is as old as time.
Bankman-Fried stood silently as the verdict was read.
He just wasn't credible on the stand. And when your only defense is your credibility and saying, I didn't know what I was doing, rose to the level of criminal conduct, then that's a rough place.
CBS News legal contributor Jessica Levinson believes the jury did not buy the defendant's argument that Bankman-Fried simply made mistakes with no criminal intent, persuaded by witnesses who testified they saw the wrongdoing firsthand, including his ex-girlfriend and former Alameda CEO, Caroline Ellison.
And they said Sam Bankman-Fried knew exactly what he was doing. He knew it was wrong. The defense was not able to rebut that.
My client, Mr. Bankman-Fried, maintains his innocence, and we're going to continue to vigorously fight the charges against him.
Bankman-Fried now faces a potential sentence of 110 years in prison.
It could still be the case that if Sam Bankman-Fried ever does walk out of a federal prison, he will be an old man.
Now, sentencing is set for March 28th of next year, and Jessica Levinson tells us an appeal could be based in part on the idea the jury was incorrect in finding criminal intent, but she says even those grounds appear to be shaky at best. And inside the courtroom, I was seated just behind his parents, who were holding each other as this verdict was read. This is stunning for all of them.
They've essentially lost a son if they're talking decades, if not over 100 years in prison.
That's right. That's
You know, what comes to mind is Theranos. You know, we want to believe in these revolutionaries, these geniuses, those that are creating breakthroughs in certain industries. But when it's all said and done and we strip away all the layers, it seems like their intentions weren't what we thought.
And in a broader scope, right now when you look at the crypto industry, what does some of this mean?
Well, Attorney General Merrick Garland made a statement based on this conviction and says to anyone out there who thinks that your operations are just too complicated for the average person to understand, we're coming after you. So wow. Sam Bankman-Fried, now an example for what the U.S. is trying to crack down on.
Real consequences.
Yeah.
Errol, thank you so much.